Ladies and gentlemen, now in this movie we are going to see what is an alpha channel. And I don't mean a TV channel or something like that. What we are going to see is what is transparency. And alpha channel is transparency and opacity is transparency. And why I want to show you that? Well, if we go back to our material palette, you can see that some of the parameters are almost the same. Okay, as you can see, we have base color and opacity, and you know that you can change the base color here, select red, and there you go. But for example, if you click here in opacity and select the red opacity, what happened? Okay, as you can see, this the box have a different kind of material now. If we set that to white again, okay, you can see that it is opaque again. This is the shading of our OpenGL. But if we create a preview, we are going to see better results. Well, opacity means transparency, okay, and transparency means alpha channel. White means opaque and black means transparent. If I set that to black, you can see that now my color is transparent. Okay, I can see the cube here, but I don't see the material because now it's transparent. And that's what we can do with this parameter. Now, for example, I'm gonna go back here and set that to gray, so we have some kind of half transparent and half opaque. And I'm gonna create a render preview of this. And what I want you to see is how this material is not entirely opaque. Actually, I'm gonna push the black values a little bit more. Okay, something like that. Create another render preview, and I hope you can see better the transparency here. And yeah, there you go. You can see now how we have this is not purple anymore. We have all around it this kind of reddish color, and that is telling us that this object is transparent. Now, we probably can have a better idea of this if we place some lights, but other thing that I want to show you is that we need the alpha channel for these kind of materials when we want to create some kind of glass or windows, a lot of different water, different materials, and also because when we composite our 3D objects with actual footage, we can use the alpha channel in order to remove the unwanted areas of our scenes. In this case, the red. Okay, but actually the red is not an alpha channel. This is our grid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my object level and I'm going to hide my grid. And now we have a black background. But actually this is not black. This is an alpha channel and it's transparent. So remember what I told you when we saw before. Black means transparent. Now I create the grid because I didn't want you to have this kind of view, because otherwise you can appreciate the color of our sphere. But as you can see here, our cube, our box, you can see how it is not a box anymore. Well, actually it's a box, but because it's getting confused with the background, we can see the complete shape of our box. So what I'm gonna do now is gonna go to File, and I'm gonna save this frame as alpha, okay, and as a Targa image or Targa format, because Targa supports alpha channels. And I'm gonna go and save this. I'm gonna override this, yes, click OK, and I'm gonna open Photoshop. And here what I'm gonna do is open the alpha, okay, this file that we just create, and you can see that we have our black background. Now here in Photoshop we have some tabs, and in these tabs what I can do is go to my channels, this other tab in layers, and here you can see that we have 4 different layers selected in blue, and we have another one not selected called alpha 1. Now here is are stored our 3 different channels, and in this case we have 4 different channels. RGB is the values of red, green and blue, okay, RGB, and red, green and blue. We have 3 different options here, red, green and blue, and this one actually is just the result of these 3 different channels mixed together. And for example, if I deselect the red, you can see that right now we have some kind of green and blue only. Alright, If I deselect the green, now you can see that everything goes black and white. And that is because, remember, in computers everything is based on 2 digits, 0 and 1, binary system. And in this case we are using white, black and white. So with zeros and ones we represent these 2 different colors. And then we have different shaders, different scales for measuring color. And by mixing these 3 different channels we can create this kind of effect of color. So remember, RGB are the 3 complete channels mixed together. Now if I want to see the transparency, what I can do is just place my cursor here in the alpha, okay, in this channel, press Control and click, and now you can see we have a selection of our of this mask, because actually it's a mask. And do not press the eye icon here, because otherwise you're gonna have this kind of red, and that's not what we want. So I'm gonna go back to layers, and then I'm gonna press Control C and Control V in order to copy and paste, and I'm gonna hide this background. Now here you can see now how our object is almost transparent and our background is gone. So what I can do is just go here and create another solid color and place it below this, and there we go. Same kind of thing. I can go another kind of color, another background. You can see how our box is almost transparent, and we can create some text here if we want. Okay, and take it and place it right there, and you can see how we can see even that this layer is on top of my text. I can see because that object is transparent. Well, it's not completely transparent, but we have some kind of transparency going on there, and that's what we mean. What I mean when we refer to this parameter in our materials. Okay, when we talk about opacity, we mean transparency. Now here the same thing. You have your 3 different values for RGB, red, green, and blue channels. Your 3 different channels, and that way you can create your different shaders. Okay, your different colors for the opacity. And for example, if you set that to blue, because it's almost black, okay, well, it's not almost black, but you can see how we have it's almost transparent because the values are almost 0, all right? And when we have 0, we have black, okay? And if we select, I don't know, this kind of yellow, you can see how we can manipulate the variance of our opacity. And what you have to do is just stay with the black and white. Okay, white is opaque, black is transparent, and you can have a basic relation here between these 2 different parameters. You can go half and half, and it's semi-transparent. I hope you have an idea of what alpha channel is and what opacity means in your materials, and that way you can create now glass, some kind of a glass texture. All right. Obviously, we have a lot of different options to explore in this chapter, but for now you know what is opacity. See you in the next movie.